everyone, today is going to be a end of 2018 favorites video. Now I will say that I do have a separate palette series countdown that I'm working on right now, so I will not be including any eyeshadow palettes in this series because of that, and also I'll be having a separate video on lip products that are my favorites of the year. But as I say that, my lips are so dry that I need to put on some lip gloss, so I will just quickly mention the Anastasia glosses. I really like the Anastasia glosses. This is in the shade Sunscape. And I also bought the little Christmas set from Anastasia as well that comes in the 4-pack. I think that's still available on Sephora, so if you've been thinking about getting those, I really enjoy the Anastasia glosses, so I would highly recommend those. But to get into the products that I actually want to talk about today, now I don't know if I necessarily have one thing in each category to talk about. I kind of just threw all my favorite things into a box and then I'll just pull them out and talk about them randomly. So I mean, I guess I might as well start with the only primer that I have in here, and that is the Farsali Unicorn Drops. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know I used to be obsessed with this. Now here's the thing though, I'm still not convinced that primers really do anything. Lately I have not been using a primer, but the thing that I like about this is that the smell is so nice, and I really love the way that makeup sits on top of this. Now I don't think it makes my makeup last any longer, but I really do like the feel of this primer. I've tried so many primers that I hate it, so the fact that I found a primer that I like, that I feel like maybe does something for my skin, is a plus. So I haven't repurchased this though, so this one is empty, but I do really like this, and if this was cheaper I would repurchase it all the time. So that is for sure a favorite of mine. And a lot of these things are not necessarily new favorites. They've been favorites that maybe I used a lot in the summer that I don't use anymore now because of the winter, and vice versa. So you might not have seen them on my channel before. So the next thing I want to talk about that I just randomly pulled out here is this Naked highlighting palette. I use this so much this summer. You guys have no idea. Like, these are really nice, colorful, kind of duochrome highlighters, and I think they're super pretty. They're also great for inner corner highlights. I love this little palette. I'm so happy I got this in BoxyCharm. This was actually the first box that I had ever received from BoxyCharm, so needless to say, after I got this, I was pretty hooked because I was so pleased to get this, because this is not something that I would have ran out and purchased myself. So that is why I really enjoy subscription boxes, because I feel like even though I don't end up using all of the products in the box, I still get my money's worth, because most of the time I end up liking at least 1 or 2 items in the box. And for that month, it was my Naked Cosmetics palette. So that thing is great. It's amazing. I really recommend anybody who is into colorful makeup to maybe pick up a colorful highlighting palette, because I think you'll be surprised at how much you like it. The next thing I want to talk about are blushes. Actually, I have quite a few. And my main category here will be Morphe blushes, because I like Morphe blushes so much. This is their 8C palette, so this is a full palette of cool tone blushes. I love this so much. I bought this because of Polina Beauty. She recommended this and I can totally see why. The thing I like about Morphe blushes is that they're pigmented, but not too pigmented, but they last a very long time on my face. And I can't say that about a lot of blushes. I have quite a few blush formulas actually that I've tried this year that just were not very good, that would disappear after an hour, but these last so well on my skin. I also have one of the duo or trios, and this is in the shade Pop of Coral. This one is also really pretty, and I do really appreciate the fact that they have some shimmery blushes as well as some matte blushes in their palettes. I think that's a really good mix, and I really like to mix the blush formulas as well. I think it comes up with a really cool effect. So if you haven't tried Morphe's blushes and you've been thinking about it, I think they're really good personally, and I would definitely recommend trying them out if you are in the lookout for a cheap blush, because they're very inexpensive and I feel like you get a lot for your money. So Morphe blushes is definitely something that I'm really happy to have discovered. And I actually have 3 other blushes that I want to talk about too. I didn't know I had a thing for blushes, but apparently I do. So the blush that I was obsessed with this summer is the Butter Blush from Physicnas Formula, and this is just a very cool toned pink. Wow, this is so hard to open. Oh, we don't need that brush anyway. This is what it looks like. I think this is stunning, especially if you are as fair as I am. I think this looks really good. I don't think this will necessarily work on a darker skin tone, so that kind of sucks, but for me this is beautiful, and I really like cool tone blushes on myself personally, so I reach for this a lot, especially in the summer, because it's just very cute and summery. And the next blush that I want to mention is actually one that I got kind of recently. I got it during one of their VIP sales, and this is a blush by the Sephora collection. It looks like this. It's a very peachy blush, and I just think this is so pretty. Like this one, again, it has just enough pigmentation to really make it pop on your cheek without being too much, and it's also really nice and blendable, and it's matte, which I know I've said I like shimmery blushes, but this one It's just such a nice fall shade, and I like the hint of warmth that it has. I think it looks really nice. So I've been using this one a ton lately. And the last thing I want to mention is not necessarily this shade, but just in general, the MAC Extra Dimension blushes. These are just like very nice shimmery blushes, and I'm sure you can tell that I've used quite a bit of this. It just has a really nice sheen, and I really want to pick up more of these. I'm not like 100% happy with this shade in particular, but I love the formula on these so much. I wish they weren't so expensive, but I really think if you're in the lookout for a nice shimmery blush, that these are great. Now for bronzers, this is not a category that I really buy a lot from, and it's something that I really want to expand on in the next year because I really only have 3 that I like, and I'm only going to mention 2 because the third one I like, but I don't love it, like I'm not obsessed with it. So the first one I'm going to mention is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. Now I cannot use this in the winter because this is a little bit too dark for me right now, so I guess I could use it and just be very light-handed with it, but that is not how I like to apply my bronzers. So for now, this is going to stay in my drawer until I get a little bit of a tan again, but as soon as I do, I know this little baby is going to come out. So as you can see, I have the old packaging of this, so yeah, it's getting pretty old, but it still smells really good. Oh, I just love this scent on Too Faced products so much. And the other one I'm sure is not going to come as a surprise to anybody, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to have the Physicnas Formula Butter Bronzer on their list because I think this is amazing. This works for me both in the winter and in the summer, which is why I have hit pan on this because I've used this so much. Like this is probably the one that I use 5 out of 7 days a week because I love this blush, what am I saying? I love this bronzer so much. I think it is amazing. For highlighters, I'm actually only going to mention one thing, and I'm sure a lot of you are like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. And this is the Dior highlighting palette that I bought a while back, and I have not been able to put this down. Like, I don't say that lightly. It is rare for me to find a highlighter that I love, because I kind of feel like, please don't hate me, but I kind of feel like highlighters are a bit overrated. Like, I feel like a lot of them just look the same. So when I find a highlighter I like, I tend to not really buy another one because I'm like, why do I need another highlighter? So maybe that's just me, but I've just never understood the obsession with highlighters. But this thing is amazing. It's so versatile. The thing that I like about it is that I can mix a lot of these shades. So if I don't want a gold, I can kind of mix the gold with the white and make a bit of a lighter gold, or I can do the same thing with the pink one. I can also use the pink one as a blush topper. I don't know yet what I want to do with this darker shade because, I mean, look at me. This just doesn't really go. I suppose I could try to use it as a bronzer maybe, but I'm not brave enough for that. But I love the other 3 shades in this palette so much, and I'm sure you can see that a lot of the print on this is already gone because I've used it so much. So I definitely think that for me this was a good purchase and a good investment because I've been using this all the time. For foundations, I have 2 that I want to mention, and the first one is actually kind of a recent purchase as well, and it is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I love this. This works really well on my oily skin, and I like the coverage on it. I really like everything about this foundation except that it doesn't have a pump, so kind of sucks I have to spend an extra $5 to $10 to buy a pump for a $50 foundation, but you know. So that is why that is not going to be the winner of the foundations, and the winner is actually going to be the Maybelline 24-Hour Superstay. I don't know what the fuck the name of this is. I think it's something like that, but this foundation just works so well for me, especially in the summer. This is the one foundation that I reach for other than my Kat Von D foundation, which I haven't been using for a while. But this is the foundation that I go to in the summer when it's really hot outside and I tend to get kind of oily and sweaty. So, but this one can really withstand like a whole day of me being outside and sweating, and I love this foundation so much. I actually have 3 different shades of this foundation right now, so that kind of tells you how much I like this. And I also like it because it's super cheap and it's very easy to get a hold of. Like pretty much any drugstore, even Target, Walmart has this foundation. Even my grocery store has it, so it's just very accessible, and I love that it's a full coverage foundation, but it doesn't look cakey on me. And this is also going to be the foundation that I travel with all the time because I know it works. I know that if the climate changes, I still know that this is going to work. So I just love this foundation so much. For concealer, I'm going to mention 2, and the first one is my Tarte Shapetape. I used this so much in the beginning of the year. I probably bought 2 of these this year, and I used them all the time until I decided that I just wanted to try a new concealer, and I decided to go with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. And this concealer is really good too. I wasn't sure at first if I liked it, but the more I use it, the more it's kind of growing on me, and right now I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I feel like this one has so much more product than the Tarte Shapetape, and this one is also cheaper, so you know, will I repurchase the Shapetape? I'm not sure, but for now I'm going to enjoy my Too Faced until this one runs out, and I really like this. Let me know if you guys have tried any of the products that I'm talking about, because I feel like a lot of the products are pretty well-known products that a lot of people use, and I mean that's probably why so many people use them, because they're great products. Something else that I probably use close to every day is the Colourpop eyeliners. I have pretty much all of the colorful ones. I love these so much. The thing that I like about them is that the formula is great. They stay in my waterline all day. The pigmentation on them is really good, and they have the most amazing shade range. I don't know any other company who has shades like this, and I think they're just amazing. The only thing I will say though, that's kind of a complaint, and I know a lot of people say this, is that sometimes when you flip your eyeliner upside down, like the thing here will just fall out because it's just not very well structured, I guess. But I mean, that's really the only thing. As long as you're not shaking your eyeliners everywhere, then it doesn't really matter. Just be careful with it, you know? No need to hold them upside down and shit. So that is the only thing that's like a downside of these, but they're also $5, so what do you really expect? Like, I am okay with a shitty packaging if the product is great. And speaking of eyeliners, my favorite liquid liner, I have purchased this 3 or 4 times now this year, and this is the DHC liquid liner. I bought this because Samantha March was talking about it in one of her favorites. I think it was maybe end of last year favorites. She mentioned this eyeliner and I was like, I need to try this. So I buy this on Amazon. I don't know if they sell it anywhere else, but I will link it down below if you want to check it out. I want to say it's $20, so it's not like a cheap eyeliner, but I really enjoy this so much. I think the tip on it is great. It's very, very, oh, look at those swatches. That is what I just have on my eyes right now. But it's very, very thin, and I feel like it's going to be similar to the Fenty Fly Liner. I think that's what it's called, right? But the applicator is just amazing, and I just love how this glides on. Like, this really glides on over any shadows, even shimmery shadows. It dries down really quickly. It's waterproof. It stays put. It lasts for a long time. It doesn't dry out. So I am definitely going to purchase this again when this runs out, because I've tried a lot of new eyeliners lately and I can't find any that stands up to this. So this is for sure one of my all-time favorite products of the year, because I've bought this so many times. And speaking of something sort of in the same category, I know I haven't used this much on my channel, but this is the Milk Stamp. I have this in the star and I also have it in the heart, and it's literally just like a stamp. I'm going to just put some on my face. I just think these are so cute. Like, if you want to spice up your look with a little something extra, just put a little star on your face, you know? And I like them because they stay put like literally all day. Like, I can't even get them off when I try to wash them off, but these are just like such a unique little item that I love to have in my collection, and I hope they come out with more, because I will probably buy another one. Like, I want there to be a smiley face. Wouldn't that be so cute to walk around with smiley faces on your face? Like, I would totally do that. So yeah, if you've been thinking about these, I think they're really good. I think they are $12. I could be wrong. I'll put the price up on the screen just in case, but I like this a lot, and I think they're just like a little different item that not that many people would, you know, wear on a daily basis. And I have 2 more items that I want to talk about, and the next thing is for brows, and I've been using the Brow Wiz by Anastasia so much this year. I had a period before the summer where I was kind of toying around with other brow products, and a couple that I really ended up liking was the Colourpop brow pen as well as the BH Cosmetics brow pen. But what I didn't like about those is that they weren't really smudge proof. But this thing can make it through a fucking hurricane. I don't even know. It is just so good. Like, this really stays put all day and it doesn't go anywhere once you put it in, and I like the shade range that they have as well. I actually have like 3 or 4 different shades, like, can alternate between them, because I feel like when you have an unnatural hair color, it doesn't really matter what color your brows are, because everything kind of doesn't match, so, you know, everything goes at the same time. So I have the shade Chocolate, I also have Dark Brown, I have Auburn, and I think I have one more, but I'm not really sure right now. But I love these. I wish they weren't so expensive. If you know of a dupe for this, let me know, because I would love to have a cheaper alternative to fill in my brows with. But for now, I'm gonna keep buying these because I just think they're so good. And I'm sure you can all guess the last 2 items that I have in my little box next to me. The next thing is going to be my Badgalbang mascara. Ever since I tried this, I fell in love. And I hate that I love this so much because it is expensive, and I can't part with it. I just love it so much. It does so much for my lashes, and I'm just obsessed. And you guys know I don't say obsessed very often, but this is my baby. I can't go without this. I need to have this in my collection. I even have a backup of this that I bought during the sale because I was like, if I can get a discount on this, I'm going to stock up because this is not an item that I'm going to get sick of. So yeah, you'll probably be seeing this a lot, and if you ever wonder what mascara I'm using, it's probably this one. And the last thing I want to mention are my Stila Glitter and Glows. I have so many of these, and some of them are drying out and some of them are empty almost, so I might have to restock up on some of the ones I really like, but I just love these so much. I think they're amazing. I love how they add a little bit of sparkle. I don't like the shimmer and glows, however, as much because I feel like they're not as versatile. It's one thing to have a glitter that you can layer on top of your shadows, but if you have a shimmer and glow, that's basically one shadow in itself, and I'm not really one to go for, you know, a blue lid every day or a gold lid every day or a champagne lid every day. Like, I want something that can work with my other shadows to enhance them, not something that's going to cover them up. So that is why I like these Stila Glitter and Glows. If you know of any other brands that has similar to these, I would love to try them. I have heard that the Pixie ones are really good. I did go on the website and look at their shade range, and they were all kind of just boring. It was just like a silver, a gold, a champagne, and like a pinky shade, and I want something different, you know? I want something unique. So if you know of any brands that has glittery topper kind of shadows, let me know because I'm always on the lookout for more glitter. So I think that's going to... Oh, actually, I have one more thing I almost forgot. And this is a product that I basically used this whole year, and it is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. I have mine in Luminous Light, if I can open it. It just looks like this. I actually don't have any on right now, so maybe I will put a little bit on. And I like this because it just, I don't know, it just adds a little bit of shine to your face, makes it look less dry. And if you put on too much powder and shit, it actually makes it look like you put on less powder, which is magic. I don't know how they do that, but I just really love the feeling of putting this on, and I also just feel like my makeup looks a lot better after. So those will sum up my yearly favorites. Now, I will say that, of course, I have a lot of products that I really, really like that I could have mentioned in this video, but I also have a lot of categories where I have products that I like, but I don't love. And I don't want to put something into a favorites video that I don't absolutely love and would recommend, which is why I don't do monthly favorites, because I don't want to mention just the best products of the month and say that they're a favorite when in reality they're just the best products that I tried that month. Do you know what I mean? Like, can you tell the difference? Because I am very picky with the products that I say that I like and the products that I say that I love. Like, for me, there's a huge difference there. So that is why you don't see a lot of favorite videos from me. Also because I don't try a lot of new face products and stuff. I don't buy a lot of that because I prefer to spend my money on eyeshadow palettes and sometimes blushes and, you know, eyeliners, stuff like that, because those are the things that make me happy, as well as lip products. I love lip products, and I will have a video up on my 10 favorite lip products of the year coming very soon, so keep an eye out for that. I would love to know down below what some of your favorites are, and I hope you are having a wonderful December so far. Thank you so much for watching as always. If you are new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye!